Are you looking for professional broadcasting on a budget? How about broadcast with colorful commentary, guest commentators, and after-race interviews? Do your league branding and social media graphics need a facelift? Custom results and series graphics looking like a fifth grader did them? Event organization taking up way too much of your time? Engage GTCtv and let us help you show the world your events.
I'm ready. Welcome everyone to the final round of ENVY Simsports GT3 Sprint Series of America, round 7, and we will be headed to Indianapolis. I have been saying there could be a chance of rain, and I'm going to keep saying it because there could be. GT3 lap record time is 1:22.439 by Rafael Mastiello, who is a very fast Mercedes driver, as you can see which car he did it in back in 2022. Rafael Marciello, probably right up there with Mario Engel, probably some of the top Mercedes drivers I know of. I think we got a few drivers that can be that fast today. They're usually, just nipping the heels of that fastest lap. So we'll see how everybody fares today. And I am your host, Fry. Chris is running a little bit late. He got thrown off of a cruise ship, so he is trying to row his way back in a dinghy. So we might get to see him or hear from him today. And, of course, I'm always joined by my friend Pix. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Fry.
And, of course, Mr. Eton, who is the one who threw Chris off the boat. So, not sure what Chris did there, but, we got Mr. Troublemaker, and we'll see what we can get the story from him later on. And I always appreciate Eton keeping us in line and helping us look good and look pretty. And like I said, the final race will be the Indianapolis road course. I would like to see these guys maybe just, do the oval. I want to, I don't think the GT3 cars have ever run here in an oval, and that would be, kind of an interesting race. So maybe we'll get around to that one day. But this is our final race and a lot of points battles. I think one of our leaders might have already wrapped something up, but they're second, third, fourth, fifth. These guys are very close. Parker Dime has wrapped up the championship, but, it's the last race. You got to go out on top, got to go out with a win. But Mr. Austin Diltz, Alexander Vevers, and Retro Coffin have been running up front the last few races. They probably have something to say about that. But you never know. Somebody could play spoiler alert. Gabriel Grosser is 3 points ahead of Nathan Nickerson. It's pretty much a 1-2 battle with these guys, Kyle Mills and Sierra and Tanacrit. And they might be battling out for that top 5 spot. And you see Jonathan Poe and Terrell Lance still with a chance to get a top 5. So a lot of, bragging rights on the line. That's enough motivation, isn't it?
Yes, we will be showing you the situation, the point situation throughout the broadcast. So we'll be able to see who's got the biggest chance to win, Crozier or Nickerson. I will give you the grid in just a second, Fry.
In the last race, I think they ran 1 and 2 in the AM class, and I think they were running about like 5th or 6th on the track, something like that.
Yeah.
In the last race, our top 3 pro guys and our top 2 AM drivers also ran so close together that championship was all up in the air last race. This place, I think a lot of people don't like this track, but I could be wrong on that. So that may come into play of who has the better advantage just by liking the track. And right now looks like Bevers has got the top spot. And if he can find some good luck today, he can definitely pull out a win. Usually running up front, nice day, 73 degrees. Now, 74% chance of rain. They think it's going to be dry. I don't think it's going to be dry, but we shall find out. And as you see, it says cloudy, not partly sunny. There's some clouds in there and no wind. So if this rain hits, it's not going anywhere. But we'll have to see if it rains or not. Toss a coin, wish upon a star, maybe, depending on where you're at in the field. And of course, they're all fighting for the trophy, the GTD Pro and AM class. So that's 6 trophies that go out first, second, third for both. And one lucky driver gets to the Coach Dave Delta School. So you'll get some interesting knowledge and I'm sure a few other fun things along the way. All right, everybody's finished up their qualifying. So looks like Vevers will lead us off as he has done so many times before and see if he can hold that top spot and have a nice clean race. And hopefully he got a rabbit's foot this time. Retro Coffin in second. Walter Alvarez, we haven't seen him up front in a while, in third. Parker Dime in fourth. Gabriel Grozier, your top AM guy, right there in fifth. Ricky Renner in sixth. Chris Hitty in seventh. Nathan Nickerson in eighth, your second AM driver. So these guys are pretty much starting very close together. That's going to be the battle to watch for that top spot. And 11th will be 9th Austin Diltz and 10th Javi Sierra. Kyle Mills Mayberry in 11th, Patrick Rich in 12th, Morgan Smith 13th, John Cannon, of course, glad to see him here and joining us for the last race in 14th. Malik Bass in 15th. Terrell Lance is 16th. And 17th is Jack Clark. And 18th is Austin Armstrong. I think that might be a new driver. I think we got a few new drivers. 19th is Mateus Marcoman. And 20th, is it Marconi? Marcomini. Oh, yeah, that's going to be interesting halfway through the race. Matthew Noel in 20th. And that is our grid. Retro agrees with me in the chat that he was going to, just toss a coin. We'll see what happens. Chris wants it to start dry. It looks like it will start dry. It says cloudy. I see sun on the track. But things can change in the next, 49 and a half minutes. And they will, get the, see, it's cloudy over there in the distance. I mean, it looks pretty sunny on the track. They'll get a warm-up lap, see if we can take a look around, see, in the background, there's clouds always off in the distance, but you never know what's going to hit the track. Now, of course, the WBM guys will be looking to maybe play a little spoiler today, get their points up there. Every race that these guys have started, maybe the first one was a little chaotic, but since then, I mean, these guys know each other so well. They've driven the same cars. It's just, man, these guys have done such a great job this season. So hats off to everybody. Hopefully we'll keep that going for this race as well. And you see how close it is for that AM division. If Nickerson, I mean, basically it's like whoever wins. If Nickerson wins, he wins. If Grozer wins, he wins. That's it. That's what it's going to come down to. It really doesn't matter where they finish. It's whoever's in front of who. Now, they drop far enough back and that point spread starts to become an issue. That 3 points that Grozer has could really come into play. And this is also a mixed grid. There is no separation of pro and AM. They're all mixed together. So as we read it off, that is how they will start. Which gives, sometimes these AM guys, it gives them an advantage. And we've seen them get faster and faster each race that's gone on. Usually our top 4 or 5s are pros, and then those AM guys start sneaking up there and knocking off the pro drivers. So maybe some guys will have a little different classifications as we come around to the next season. So Vevers to lead, Coffin in second. Alberto, I think he's just had a bad couple races where he's kind of just ended up in the back. I know he's had a few unfortunate incidences.
Yeah, and he's missed a couple of races as well, so that just definitely kept him away from the championship fight.
And so crazy from this last season to this season, where we watched this guy just run away from everybody every race. I mean, I think he had the championship locked up after race 3. Completely different world this season. So he's got his work cut out for him if he wants to come back and aim for the championship next season. Because I'm sure John's got something in the brewing factory that he's working up. And we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Stay on the ENVY Simsports on Discord. Always got updates on there for things they're doing. Check out website. Yeah, they're just busy. You know, at first he had 10 drivers. Look at this field, we got a 20. So I'm looking at maybe next season he's gonna have 30.
Fry reporting from pit lane. Looks like Retro Coffin is on wet tires. So
he's on wet tires. He is on wet. Why is he on wet tires? And here we go at the start. Retro Coffin gets a little lead on Vevers. Vevers will have the inside going into the first turn. Everybody's separating now, almost 3 wide going into turn 1. Vevers will lead, Coffin on the outside, Alberto Alvarez in third. Parker Don following just behind in the famous Mustang that I love so much. Little change of position. Everybody's clean through turn 1. Right now. Oh, we have a spin in the back. Chris Hitty goes around. Don't know if he had a little bit of help. I hope not. Treacherous corner that you just saw him going through right there. Vevers out to a lead. He's going to look to keep that going all race long. Everybody else is pretty clean through. We'll try to figure out what happened to Hitty a little bit later. Wow, teammates going side by side. These corners are absolutely treacherous through here. High speed into a low speed. And I've heard oh, look at that. And that is a pro versus an AM, but they're both teammates, and looks like Malik Bass has gone around. Oh, that's some curb hopping. Did you see that? I think that, oh, no, it was got to be Ricky. Was that Ricky? Yeah, I think Ricky Renner jumped the curb there a little anxious. And that's what I've heard that people don't like about this track is the curbs. I think they shoot you off. Maybe they need to do a little thing with the adjustments. But Retro Coffin right now, I don't know why he's on wet tires. That is absolutely going to make him just drop to the back. I mean, you see the grip level is going to be insanely different. Now, I guess he's banking on some wetness showing up.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Maybe he knows something that nobody else knows.
I mean, I don't see a radar around. I'm not checking the forecast, so maybe he's making a bold prediction. But that's pretty bold to be starting on wet tires.
Yeah, top speed is already a couple miles under everyone else.
Oh, yeah. He's going to need to just come in now and change those tires if he has any chance. Or he may try to just stay out. Maybe hit that 20-minute mark, come in early, and try to do the long run. And so Vevers still out front right now, followed by Alvarez, Parker Diamond third, Austin Diltson fourth. Let's see what happened to Chris Hitty. Mr. Jackman extraordinaire. He's gonna get me season passes for the entire season, all free. Oh, and he's gonna get a little help. I can't tell who that was. That might have been. I think Morgan's not in a Mustang, is he? Oh, Austin. Oh no. So Vevers is looking to tie up that second place in the championship. Diltz still, I think, can hold on to third. But if he gets any kind of stewarding adjustments to his finish, that could come into play. Wow. He got roughed up from behind. I think that was Mills Mayberry. So right now, Grosser has a 4-second gap on Nathan Nickerson. So he is looking to seal up the championship. Long way to go, still 56 minutes until we close out this season. So there's plenty of time for Nickerson to do something, maybe a pit stop, maybe he's, doing a rain dance or something. Giddy going almost 3 wide into the corner. Little flash of the lights. That was outside of John Cannon. And John has, one of these days he's going to stop sandbagging and just run past these guys. But, he's such a fair guy that he always just rides around the back because he just likes being out there with these guys. It's just for fun. That's my story, and I'll help you out, John. I'm sticking with it.
Retro definitely fell off.
He has made a very, very bad choice. Now, if it starts raining in the next 3 laps, this guy's going to look like an all-star. But I don't see that happening. I think he was the one guy that maybe tried to do something different than everybody else, which sometimes that's what you have to do if you're going to have any chance to win the race. But that man, when it doesn't work, you get left hung out to dry. So Nickerson's still trying to make his way and close that 4-second gap to Grosser. He has Austin Diltz all over his rear. Here's Grosser in the McLaren. We'll have another McLaren championship. Everybody loves. Now I've heard they've done physic updates. So as what I've heard is the McLaren is not as dominant as it once was, maybe at the start of the season. Little specs here and there. I know the Mustang got a boost, which I was super happy about. But I think they've made some changes to the cars, Lambos and Porsches, and some people happy, some people not. That's just kind of the way it goes sometimes when they do something they think the car needs or feels better. And do you see what I see, Pix?
Yep.
You see what I see, right?
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on Retro now.
2 minutes ago, I just said I don't see that happening. So who's wrong now? This is one of those moments. Gosh, why I love racing so much. We have one guy in the field who started on wets. Everyone else started on the hard tires. Now, 6 minutes into the race, we're starting to see rain on parts of the track. Not the whole track yet, but we are starting to see moisture on the track. So if Retro can just stay where he is, everyone else will have to come in and get the wet tires. This could massively benefit him if he can stay close enough to the leaders. The problem is he kind of needs it to just open up right now. Ooh, it's a tough gap. I mean, you can see the gap just on the map right there. He is just dropping like a stone. He's trying his best to hold on. Now you see the rain coming into play right now. So this is the part of the track where everybody's getting a little moisture. Guys are having to be a little careful. But he's going to be able to get some grip and traction and go into this corner. So he actually might have an advantage going into this first corner. And look at that. That's heavy rain on the front stretch. Yeah. Oh, nice. Still on the hard tires. He looked like he got nice traction going through there. I think Retro was expecting him to not get that much traction. Was really biting for the inside on that line. Who is that in front of Retro? Oh, Malik Bass. So Bass is doing a great job. Clark right behind him, still on slick tires, getting some rain out there. And I'm going to tell you, if I'm a racer, I'm watching the weather. I'm keeping my eye on it. I want to know if it's going to keep raining. But when I start seeing that rooster tail start coming up behind the cars, I'm going to pit road. Because I want, go ahead and just give me some wet tires now. And everybody's still staying out. No one has come in. So Cannon's in the pits now. You can see if he switches out to the wet tires. I'm thinking now, hey, I'm totally wrong, right? I'm totally wrong. Go in the pits and get the wet tires now. See, that's what you have to do in racing. You got to change up your strategy on the fly. And so Retro right now, I mean, he is so far back that I am worried that everybody's going to come in and pit and get tires, and he's still going to be too far back. This is, however, a very long pit road. It is eternity to drive down that thing.
Yeah, pit lane time for John Cannon was 28 seconds.
So if Retro can stay right around that area, he's at least got a chance to take the lead. Maybe. That's the thing. He's got to be, like right now, in these next couple laps, if he can start making better lap times because he's already on the wet tires, then he might be able to close that gap a little bit and extend that gap once he takes the lead. Now, of course, the question would be if the leaders could then run him back down on the wet tires. Man, it is really coming down. How are they still able to get that traction with the slick tires? Unfortunately for us, we don't have a gauge where we can kind of see how it's going for the drivers. Our only gauge is to see when they start slipping and sliding and trying to get around the track to get back to pit road in desperation mode. So Vever's still out front, has a 2-second gap over Alvarez. Parker Dime still behind them. Austin Diltz now behind his teammate, also running buddy, Patrick Rich behind him. And I think that puts 3 Fords in the top 5. I'm just saying. You know, Ricky Renner in 6th. Chris Hitty, after his spin, has moved his way up to 7th in the pro class. So right now, Grozer and Nickerson, these are our 2 guys that we want to keep an eye on. Terrell Lance having a pretty good day up in 3rd. But Grozer is extending that gap, and here comes everybody to pit road. Everybody wants wet tires now. I think we're going to see a lot of the leaders come back in this time. Looks like a few guys in the back of the pack were the ones that came in now. Yeah, I think now we'll see what Vevers does. This is like his rabbit foot race. This man has probably qualified on pole, outran the field most of the season, and has just had bad luck here. Wrong place, wrong time. You know, can't buy a vowel, everything you could name. But he did get a couple wins. But he needs that consistency, and he is going to stay out for another one. Alberto Alvarez, however, said, nope, I want some wet tires. Parker Dime right behind him. Austin Diltz, I think, started out. Grozer coming in. Austin Diltz nope, there he is. He must have been a little bit back. So teammates coming in, one in a red car, one in a yellow. I like the
different strategies for the 2 drivers battling for the championship.
Yeah.
Crozier came in, Nickerson stayed out.
And hey, I've been wrong before in the last 12 minutes, so you know, I got to go with Grozer on this one, getting in there as soon as you can to get those wet tires. That just seems like the better option. I know sometimes we just said it. You got to do something different than the leader if you're going to beat the guy. So he's trying something out, but this guy right here has made his way up to 4th place, started on the wet tires, was in the top 5, dropped like a stone in the first 4 minutes of the race, pretty much to last. And of course, 4 minutes in, I say it's not going to rain. 6 minutes in, it's already raining. So he's looking like a genius at the moment. And we'll see how that benefits him. Right now, still 38 seconds behind the leader. He's got about 10 seconds on Renner, almost 20 seconds on Rich. So when these guys come in to pit, it's going to see how long and how fast he can get around the track to make up some of that lost time. It's looking like at the moment he will come out in 2nd behind Vevers. But I got to go with everybody who pitted as fast as they could to get off those wet tires. Like, I like the helmet. You see the two eyes on it. You see it? That is awesome. Okay, everybody flooding into pit road. Nathan Nickerson is in. Terrell Lance is in. Now, you see that gap? It's 35 seconds down to Nickerson. And we'll see how fast he can close that. Renner is now out front. Bevers in second. Retro, at the moment, has passed him. Wow, Retro is getting way ahead of him. Bevers is still not even out of the pits. Now, I wonder if right now they went ahead and took fuel. So everybody's going to maybe try to make this their one stop for the race. However, what if it dries out? Oh, that's a close. Oh, look at that. Two McLarens just battling it out. Bevers trying to hold that second position. Alberto Alvarez is all over him with the windshield wipers going as fast as he can go, and he touches Bevers. Bevers goes around. And I guess they think they forgot to put the Lucky Rabbit's foot back in the car after they changed the tires. But that is not going to be good for Alvy. And what does the rain bring? Stuff like this. Always hard to follow behind somebody. Now, Grosjean did come out ahead of Nathan Nickerson as keeping his 7-second lead. So things heating up a little bit in the pro class. Bevers probably not too happy about that. Doesn't look like he got damage, which is good. Now, how is Ricky Renner still out front? He'd never pit. But he's still on the slick tires. So somehow, Ricky Renner is driving around this soaked track in slick tires. Well, in retro, Coffin was our guy who started up front, dropped to the back, because he started on the wet tires on a dry track. And very quickly, has now started to make his way back up front as everybody had to come in to get their rain tires. I got to say, Ricky's got to be coming in this time. He is just pedaling this thing around the track. You can see he's got to be losing so much time in the corners. Wow, yeah, I'm watching that gap drop now all the way down from a couple turns ago. That thing said 13.5. We're down to 12.4 in a few corners. So Renner's got to be looking to get in the pits. Now the sun has come back out. So does he try to play it safe and stay out on the slick tires and do the reverse strategy of what Retro Coffin did? I don't think he should risk it. But this would be interesting. How long it's going to take this track to probably dry out. I'm not sure if Retro's searching for water. I don't think you have to quite do that yet. I don't think we're on that point. It's still got a rooster tail coming out the back. You're not searching. And Renner has stayed out. He has not come in the pit. So he has made his bed and he is definitely ready to lie in it. But I guarantee you he is white-knuckling that thing around the track right now and hippie-toeing on that gas pedal. So the rain has stopped just with a wet track. I don't see, definitely no issue for his windshield wiper to be on. Nobody out in front of him. The Retro is on the wet tires. I mean, right now, this guy just made an all-star move in this race. He's got a 15-second gap over the guy behind him right now. which is just insane. He must have made up so much time in those last 3 laps where he was the only one on the wet tires and everyone else was having to come in. Or they tried to stay out and try to maybe wait out the storm. But there comes a point where you just have to go get the tires. Oh, as we speak, look. As we speak. Probably still raining on half of the track, but the other half's, dry as a bone. So it's looking like, and again, folks, I've been wrong before, but it is looking like yeah, this will stay wet for the rest of the race. And if it's going to get wet with no sun, a chance of it drying out is pretty much slim to none. Also, now we see more rain coming down. Now, I don't believe they have 2 sets of wet tires. There's only 1 wet tire that they can use. There's not an intermediate, but I could be wrong. So Ricky Renner is still, and there's no way he's on slicks. He's got to be on wet tires. But he is losing a boatload of time to Retro Coffin. How would he be able to drive around this track right now on slick tires and hitting the curbs on slick tires? We must have missed him pitting.
Unless timing is wrong, it shows that both Ricky and Retro have not pitted yet.
Okay. All right. So this man must be the master of the wet track, because I got to tell you, I'd already be in the grass all over the track. Especially now it's raining even more. Now he is at the 20-minute mark right now. So if he comes into the pits, he can get enough fuel, put wet tires on the car, and run till the end of the race. The other guys came in a little bit early, but we've seen fuel not be an issue, but guys still have to save fuel. So it could be an issue on this track if you're maybe pushing a little hard to maybe make up some time. But we will have to see what Renner does, because he can make it from here. Grosjean still out front of Nathan Nickerson. I think he's up to almost an 8-second gap. So if he can just keep that nose clean, keep that car clean, and hit his marks, you were looking at your new AM champion. But I'm sure Nathan Nickerson is praying and voodooing and anything he can to hope that he can win this championship. I think Grosjean might be a guy who likes this track, and Nathan might be a guy who does not. Everybody else has made one stop. Oh, Noel hasn't stopped either. He DNF'd. I wonder why. I don't think we really had any bad wrecks there at the start. I got a few things I'm sure John and the stewarding team will be looking at, but we'll let them handle that part. Patrick Rich with his brand new livery looks so good since he joined a super special team. He'll begin to get faster instantly, by the way. He is chasing down Mr. Hitty at the moment. Oh, Renner in the pits. He had to give in. Well, and like we said, so he's got time to put fuel in the car. He can make it to the end from here. He can make this a one-stop now. Some of the other guys that have already stopped, man, I'm just not sure if they can make it. But I don't know how much fuel everybody has in the car. And we have heard guys in the past races, we just assumed they were driving fast and going after it, but they were saving fuel and actually got a little worried when they came down to the last couple laps maybe, let it coast down a straightaway a couple times just to make sure, be safe and make sure they made it. Oh, Terrell Lance, you having a good day? Heather's Jewelry, can't forget to give the shout out. And the treacherous curve is going to send him. Oh, just no grip when you touch those curbs. And the wetter it gets, the more it's just going to turn into ice. That's Chris Hitty going by. And now Retro's back in the pits. So, yeah, he's got to come in for fuel. But I wonder if now, will he just fuel the car? Or did he take tires? Or he's taking tires? Because he might have worn, yep, he's got to take tires. I bet he wore the tires out those first couple laps under the dry conditions because they will just melt wet tires. You can turn them into slicks real quick. So he's going to get some new wets, get some fuel. Now he's going to give the places back to these leaders. He'll probably drop again. But my question still is, all these people that pitted early, did some of them take fuel? Did they not take fuel? Did they just try to go ahead and know that they were going to have to make another stop? So now it's a 2-stop race. Multiple strategies might be in play for this one. The ending of this might be pretty intense, trying to figure out who has fuel and who has what. I'm pretty sure, once you put on the wet tires, you could probably run 30 minutes and it wouldn't be an issue. But these guys all pitted in about the 6 to 10 minute mark. So they've all got just about 15, 20 minutes on these tires. And it is raining, man. It is raining hard now. See, I tell people to listen to me all the time, I was totally just joking that I knew it was going to rain. I had no idea, folks. So Grozer 6 seconds up. Now, all Grozer has to do is win, but if Nathan Nickerson wins, and I don't think if Grozer's in second, just behind him, I still think that Nickerson's going to get enough points that 3-point spread's not going to make a difference. And Mr. Fozzie Photo says, looks like the WBM guys are stealing some hardware today. Hey, this race ain't over. We still have 34 minutes left to go. Long way to go, and it is a rainy race. Now, the rain has kind of split everybody up. I don't really see our little 2-car, 3-car battles like we usually have. Everyone's pretty spaced out, which is the safest way to drive in the rain. But I kind of wouldn't recommend it right now in a race, unless you're the leader. Then you're happy. Well, right now, John Cannon, 6th in the AM class right now, chasing down Terrell Lance. So I guess, well, that's Malik Bass in front of him. Oh, that's right, he's pro. Well, let's see what John can do on the inside. Taking a look. Oh, he's not getting too brave in that corner. That's a good decision in that corner. Everyone. Oh, no. So as they came on, Vevers comes out of the pits. Technically fresh tires, I guess. I mean, I don't really see how they're cold and wet's going to make too much of a difference. But he really gets a good run coming out of this corner. Alberto's going to stay on the outside. You see both cars' tail ends just fishing, looking for that grip, trying to search and find it. He's going to tuck in behind him. I think he just gets a better run coming through here. Looks like Vevers might kind of slip up maybe on the curbs. And that's right where the tap happens, coming down off that curb. Looks like Vevers might have slowed up a little bit hitting that curb. And of course, if you're at that speed with just a minor input on the wheel, it's going to send that car just to the crazy sides of the track. I think Vevers is still lucky that he escaped with no damage, because I don't remember him hitting anything. That was treacherous. Right now, Albie, yeah, Vevers, he's going to do something for next season. Try to find some luck somewhere, but sometimes that's how it goes. You just have a bad season. Hopefully the next one just is like the complete opposite of that. That's what happened in my NFL fantasy draft. I had the worst season I had almost ever had last season. I won this year. So, it goes up and down. It's just always hard to tell how it's going to go. We'll take a little ride around with Gabriel Grosser. See how he handles this wet track. Couldn't imagine doing this in the rain. Not a fan of it myself. Now, right now, Grosser has got a 8-second gap over Mayberry, who has now gotten in front of Nathan Nickerson. I think there's two things I can say that I might be correct on. Nathan Nickerson does not like this track, and he don't like it when it rains. And it's interesting sometimes in a rain race where you'll see a guy who maybe runs in the back most of the time. All of a sudden it starts raining, and this dude is just coming through the field, passing people like it's no tomorrow. So it's interesting how everybody can have their own little special ways of driving. But when I see rooster tails, I'm not happy. It's either too early or somebody splashing in front of my car. So Alberto Alvarez out front by 9 seconds. Our champion to be will be Mr. Parker Dime in 9th. Alexander Vevers in 3rd. So right now, at least as far as the class is situated, he's looking pretty good. Because the only guy he needs to beat is Austin Dills. Parker changed his livery. I got a sneak peek before all of you did. And It looks really good. So I like that he had mixed it up with the black and yellow. I think he's got a little bit of silver or white on the line right there. So I like that. A little bit different, It definitely makes it easier to tell them apart, especially when they run the same livery.
Yeah, and perhaps it's goals that only champions will be able to use in WBM, I assume.
Well, he went ahead and changed it up. He didn't want to get too far ahead of himself, but, always nice to make it a champion car, if you will. Me, I'm keeping it exactly the same until we cross the line. I ain't chancing nothing. I definitely want to keep everything moving. Why do we have a replay of Evers? Oh, you can see the water puddling up on the inside of the track. And right there on the track. Whoa! Oh, no. Oh, no. Save it. Save, maybe. No. Yep. No. No. Oh. I mean, he almost drifted the entire corner. And I think that was coming off onto the main straight. Yeah, I think the transition got him out a little bit. Oh! Yeah, absolutely just smacked it. Don't do that. Might want to get that damage fixed. So Vever's not having one of his great days, having one of his sort of usual days. Alberto Alvarez still out front by 10 seconds over Parker. Austin Muir right behind Parker. Morgan Smith and Chris Hitty having pretty good runs today in the pro class. But Ricky Renner and Retro Coffin. Retro has been from the front of the field to the back of the field to the front of the field. Now he's in the back of the field again. And one thing that he is banking on is everyone coming back into the pits to maybe get better tires. Maybe they've worn these wet tires down, or they didn't put enough fuel, or they didn't take any fuel into the car. So, man, it's going to be interesting at the end of this race to see what everybody ended up doing. Retro definitely banking on a lot today to have a good finish. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends, come race with us next season. And that is Nathan. Okay, that's Nathan Nickerson. God, he's got a good 5-second gap to Mayberry. Mayberry's come out of left field on today. So apparently he really likes this track in the wetness. And you can always join us and chat on YouTube if you like. If you have any questions, ask us. If, maybe you got some comments. Maybe you like the Ford. I don't know. But we're always happy to help and guide any way we can. Yeah, Mills Mayberry. Now he started in the back. Can we have the overall for the grid? He started in the back and has just sort of slowly worked his way to the front. I think maybe some of that, he was one of the guys that came in early to get the wet tires. Or saw a few guys almost just, whether they were contemplating it or fighting it, that they did not want to come in and put those tires on. But I'm with everybody who saw a sprinkle and immediately just dove on the pit road. So Vever's started out front, Retro in second, all the way to the back and all the way back up. It's crazy. Dill started from the back. Yeah, and so Mayberry, right in the middle. We started 11th, but, Kyle, Mayberry, Patrick Rich, they both had a good run from the back to the front. Yeah, and this wet weather reminds me I have been fighting that flu or sickness or whatever it is that is going around our country. It has been such a rough week. So I'm glad I was able to join everybody today and get through this race. It had to be here for the final one, of course. Until next season, anyway. Terrell Lance, I think, is having a little better day since he had the little spin. But we have 23 minutes remaining. And in the next 10 to 15, I think we should see how these strategies are going to play out. And I'm interested to see who didn't take fuel or didn't take enough or misjudged it or anything like that. Malik Bass with a nice little pass under Mayberry. I think Mayberry's kind of letting him go, knows he's a little bit quicker. Smart move. I would say get in the slipstream, get a good draft on that straightaway, but you can't see nothing. He pulls out immediately. It's the one time you don't want to be in the slipstream. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. You got a pair of headlights that you can kind of see. And oh man, he went in there a little tight. going to be able to hold that low line. And same thing, your line changes so much. You're going from a dry track to a wet track, because a dry track, you're going to use up these curbs and, I mean, basically try not to hit the grass. That's how much you're over the curbs. When it starts raining, that curb is not your best friend. It is your worst enemy, and you want no part of it. But it is so hard to keep that momentum and keep your speed and keep your pace on a line that you've been used to driving on. And you see that puddle in the corner right there? You know, on the banking, they're not going to get any puddles. Everything will kind of reach the bottom. But we're starting to see, I mean, it's been raining hard for a while now. So we are starting to see puddles forming around the track. Yeah, anytime you hit a puddle on a curb, that's pretty much you wrecking. Wow, look at that. I mean, you can't see nothing. I think Renner's just trying to stay out of the mist. You know, so you want to catch the guy in front of you, but it gets a little challenging when now you can't see him. Just under 20 minutes to go. He's going way out wide. You know, it's weird when you say I'm searching for visibility versus traction. Chris Hitty with Ricky Renner all over the back of him, trying to hold on to that fourth spot. Now, we've kind of lost our attention watching these pro guys. Gabriel Grosser had about an 8-second gap over Kyle Mills Mayberry. He now has a 1.3 second gap over Mayberry. Nathan Nickerson, however, has been still dropping back, now 27 seconds back. Mayberry is looking to steal this win today, as he is running Grosser down, unless Grosser had a massive accident or went off. Maybe some drama. Or Mayberry's just got the pace and the rain. But like we said earlier, some of these guys came in real early. We're talking in between 6, 10, 12 minutes. Maybe they're starting to look at that fuel and realize, uh-oh, maybe it's going wide. Now, here's a question about iRacing. So in real life, they sort of take the track limits off in a wet race. You can kind of just drive all over it at that point. Do they kind of do that in iRacing, where these guys aren't going to see a lot of, you know, points or penalties for off-track excursions?
No, not that I know of. That doesn't change when there's rain. So no, not that I know of.
So that's kind of interesting. You know, you're going to get some penalty points for, you know, going everywhere.
Yeah, the Grosser has been pretty clean today.
Yeah.
0 off tracks for now.
Well, then if he doesn't have any points, that means he didn't have an off-track moment or drama or anything like that. So that means that Mayberry's just kind of running him down, and that is just that looks like a swimming pool before you come into this main straight. So Ricky Renner still working on Chris Hitty. These two are probably going to battle for about the next 17 minutes. Let's see who's going to get. Oh, they're both in the top 5. But you know, it's one more spot, right? Who wants 5th when you can have 4th? That's the racer mentality anyway. Parker Diamond second, Austin Diltz third, Hitty and Renner fighting it out for fourth and fifth. Now, Retro Coffin is hoping that these two just absolutely battle, and then maybe like all the leaders go off in the grass so he can reclaim his top spot with his. I gotta say, I mean, the strategy at the start was award-winning. Absolutely brilliant to start on wet tires. Within a few laps, we were already starting to see the rain. Kind of amazed that everyone was able to do probably 3-4 laps on the slick tires on a wet track. A lot of guys would have to come in a lot sooner than that. So that might have kind of backfired on Coffin. But interesting to see everybody's probably going to make it on fuel. But 15 minutes to go, we could see a few diving off pit road to maybe get a splash and dash to the end. We'll go on board and listen to some cars jump around. Let you guys enjoy a few laps around the track. Enjoy the swamp. It looks like we have a little battle brewing. Renner has gotten around Hitty. Retro Coffin has now ran both of them down. He will be looking to possibly work his way up into the fourth spot. Somebody is on pit road. Mayberry is in the pits. So I'm guessing he did not have enough fuel to make it to the end. So 14 minutes to go. And we're seeing one guy on pit road. I wonder if we're going to see more. So Nickerson now still 27 seconds back. Grozer has absolutely decided I'm winning today. But does he have enough fuel to make it the next 14 minutes? That's the question. Because I always wonder how much fuel they have. I know he starts them at a certain fuel amount. I know it's just not all out. And this is not exactly a fuel-saving track. You're pretty much going out as hard as you can. Maybe a few corners you can roll here and there. Oh, Patrick, hang on. You see that front wheel just working. That's the driving right there. You see him working that wheel. And he has got Malik Bass all over him. Definitely wanting to come in that 7th place. That is such a tough corner. Come around so fast. Get on the brakes with the car at an angle. Try to stay off that curb, but God, it's so wet out there now. And getting wetter. Whoa, Hitty. So Yeah, I think Retro made a pass there, got in front of him, but was unable to sort of get a good run on the next corner because of that move. So, oh, Malik's going for a ride. Oh, that is ice capades all day. That is not. That is green ice. It is not grass at this point. Whoa! Look at Retro. Whoa! Look at the eyes on his helmet. That was awesome. Not that he spun just like the helmet. And the curb has claimed another victim. Unfortunately, that is. I hate that curb. I know everybody else does. But I tell you, you know what? That was a Kodak moment with the helmet right there, with the eyes looking out the window. that was great. So right now, Alberto Alvarez is our leader out front. Parker Dime and Austin Diltz is your top three. Ricky Renner and Chris Hitty holding on to the top five. Retro Coffin now in sixth. I think that's right about where he started in the race, isn't it? Retro, didn't he start right about in sixth or seventh? Oh, no, second. That's right. He's gone down 4 spots. And that is, it's almost like I think the best strategy was just to start on the slick tires. And it's that's weird. It looks weird. It looks like eyes from the outside of the car. It's still funny. I'll have to give him one of my helmets. I got a few good ones with big old googly eyes on them. And another guy with a tough day today is Vevers. A little bit of a controversial moment. Oh no! I mean, all right, we're not going to show him like all of next season. If you're leading or anywhere on the track, we're just not going to show Vevers.
Yeah, that was on me. Sorry, Vevers.
Yeah. See, not my fault this time. God, and look at that. I mean, that is a cloud you're driving through. Oh, easy. Yeah, he misjudged that one. Oh, I think he was letting him go. Wow, he made it. Alvy was hard into that corner. Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of a rain race, but I know these guys are powering through. 9 minutes left to go. Ricky Renner in fourth, now chasing down. Oh, that's that's Grozer in front of him. Now, Grozer's got a big gap, so he's like, I'll just let you go, man. I hope that's what he's saying. Look at this. You can't see nothing. Didn't even know how close he was. Yeah, Grozer's like, just go, man. Go away. Leave me alone. All I have to do is drive around for 8 more minutes, and I win. Let me see the McLaren, 3 Porsches, BMW, and Terrell Lance, who's now pitting probably due to damage, another Porsche, and a Ferrari. So we see our field in the AMs, which cars they like with the manufacturers. Pro class, we got Ferrari, 2 Fords, Porsche, Mercedes, Porsche, and another Ford. So a little bit more of a mix-up. Probably would have had another McLaren in there without a few incidences in the first to middle part of the race. So right now, Austin Diltz is ahead of Vevers, so he's kind of closed in on that second spot. Now, Hoffman might be a little bit ahead of Vevers, but I don't know if he can overcome such a big gap. So I think it depends, because Vevers did have an off. He had damage. Retro's moving his way up, so he's currently 6th. I'm not sure where Vevers is running. think Vevers might be back in about 8th or 9th. So you know what? Yeah, he does have a chance. He's got about 4 position gap right there. So Retro may have a chance. Alvy is in the pits, more than likely to get the fuel he needed. We will see if anyone else is going to come up short on fuel. As I said, these drivers pitted at about the 6-minute mark, some the 8 minutes, some the 10 minutes, some the 12 minute. Some got fuel, some didn't, some just put on the wet tires. They didn't want to lose that track position. Others put fuel and tires in. But I just don't know, even if you took fuel, if you could still make it all the way to the end. Parker in as well. So Austin is looking, he's coming in the pits, so he's not making it. And right now, just a splash and dash for Alvy. Parker and Austin will more than likely do the same thing. Now, Ricky, right now, it says he's about a minute behind. He's coming down the front straightaway now. Austin and Parker will both be going in their pits about the time he comes by. So he's got a big gap on them. So it looks like Alvy right now has a pretty good gap on second place. And Chris Hitty has just come in front of Parker to take 3rd position. Retro still far back. How far back was Retro? Yeah, and if he hadn't had that little spin, he would have been right there. And Vevers, so right now, Retro's in 5th, Vevers is in 8th place. So how is that going to change up the points? That is a big gap. That is a good question. I didn't see Alvy having a black flag. I could assume maybe it was from an incident early in the race when him and Vevers got together. But I don't see maybe why it was cleared. So that is a little interesting. Very interested in a black flag being cleared. So maybe he was found innocent. Ooh, Hitty goes wide. He's going in the pits. Hitty is also out of fuel. 4 minutes to go. We've had 5 people come in the pits now for a splash and dash at the end. And man, Retro's right there. He is coming on the outside of Parker, looking almost 3 wide. No, John, get back on the track. Yeah, Grozer's backing out of that immediately. Grozer's like, again, I have 4 minutes to drive around. Leave me alone. Retro has now moved his way into the final podium position. Your leaders as of right now are Alberto Alvarez, Ricky Renner, and Retro Coffin. Now, Retro has plenty of fuel and tire to make it to the end. Parker does as now. Now, as pace goes, I don't know which one of these guys likes the rain or is faster. Parker has absolutely nothing to lose, however. If he wants to go and try to take that last podium spot, he's going to, leave it all hanging out there. But Retro, he's fighting. He wants to get as many points as he can. Oh, Parker spun out. I think he got on the gas just a little bit too early, or he caught a puddle. No. He's just showing off at this point. Nobody likes to show off, Parker. Grozer right now, again, 13 seconds up on Nathan Nickerson. If he wins, he does win the AM championship. And so far, every time a car gets behind him, he just says, go away and leave me alone. You see him? Look at that. He's just pulling over like, yo, I don't care. I'll drive through all these puddles down here. I could care less. Again, he's 2 minutes, 2 laps. If not, you know what? If he could slow down and make it 1, he probably is going to do that. He's definitely got, well, he's got 11 seconds now. So Nathan's making a little time right there. As you saw, Grosier lift off the gas and just completely let them go. He will give up that time. I think this is about the wettest the track has been. I don't think it's stopped raining really since the rain started. We may have got a little tricky sunny gap in there for a moment when everybody thought maybe it'll dry out, but not so much. Ricky Renner sitting in second position, 21 seconds back of Alvy. And how about Alvy to just like show up at the last race? We're not talking about him much this season, but we're going to talk to him later on, apparently. Sounds good. And oh, whoa, wow, easy. Getting a little side. He's getting a little now. Yeah, he's got 20 seconds right now, so he could just let off and completely make this the last lap. There ain't no way. Yeah. White flag. Here comes your leader, Alberto Alvarez. This will be the final lap as we have exceeded the time. Look at all the puddling just going down that straightaway. I mean, I know there's a racing line, but you can't really see it. Grosier trying to get one more lap. He has 8 seconds on Nathan. 8 seconds.
Don't do that.
Yes. And I'm telling you right now, it's this nerve-wracking because just one lap. All you got to do is go out there and do one lap. But you don't want to push too hard. But if you slow down, it's worse than pushing hard because you throw your rhythm off. But right now, like right here, this is a spot I'd give up a ton of time. Just get it on the straightaway, get the power down, and go. But all the corners, yeah, slow up a little bit. You see a 7.7 and then dropping. Nathan's going to get as close as he can. Now, Nathan's back there pushing as hard as he can. He's running this guy down. But Alberto Alvarez is your winner. Ricky Renner looking to come home in second. Great run from Ricky as well. There he comes down the straightaway. Good job, Ricky. And Retro only end up losing one spot from where he started. But the driver who started on wet tires. Parker Dime comes home in 4th place. And there's your winner for the AM class, Mr. Gabriel Grosier. Trying to find my air horn real quick. There you go. And Austin Diltz in 5th. And we'll look for Hitty to get 6th. It might be Hitty's best finish. I think he's got a top 5, but this might be his best finish. So, great season. Good finish. No, I don't see anybody. Well, at this point, I don't know if you could really do any donuts. I guess you could. There you go. Mayberry's getting in on it. And Mayberry with a really good run. Now, yeah, there we go. He's got everybody doing donuts now. You know, you see one guy doing it, you might as well, right? You know, go with the crowd. Well, that was a interesting and fun race. I like that one. I'm sure a lot of guys didn't like the rain, but hey, it made it interesting for all of us. Yeah, Alvarez, Ricky Renner, and Retro Coffin. And Gabriel Grozer and Nathan Nickerson for the AM class. Or Grozer, I guess. I don't know. We're interviewing everybody. I tell you, Grozer absolutely just, man, he must love the rain. He's out there frolicking in it. Alberto Alvarez, pretty much the same thing. I think he had more pace in the rain than he has on a dry track this season. And Alexander, oh, that's qualifying. I was like, he ain't up front. There we go. Race results. Alberto Alvarez takes home the win. Ricky Renner in second. Retro Coffin in third. Parker Dine fourth. Gabriel Grozier in fifth. Nathan Nickerson in sixth. Alton Diltz in seventh. Kyles Mills Mayberry in eighth. Chris Hitty in ninth. And Alexander Vevers rounds out your top 10.
Yellow. Blue.
We'll get to one of you first. I just had 5 people join in the room. I'm waiting on picks to get my second half of the grid here. So stand by for interviews. Patrick Rich in 11th, Morgan Smith in 12th, Malik Bass in 13th, Javi Sierra in 14th, John Cannon all the way back in 15th, sandbagging as usual, Terrell Lance in 16th, John Clark, one of our new guys, in 17th, Austin Armstrong in 18th, Matthew Knoll, I believe, he also did not finish, and Matthias. But we didn't get to say it, picks. Marco Manini. We didn't even get to practice. So, all right. Well, I have a bunch of people in the room now. So let's go with Retro first.
Yellow.
What's up, mister? I'm going to start in the front, go to the back, come back up to the front, go back to the back, and then come back to the front again. I think you passed the field at least twice.
Well, I think I looked at the forecast before we formed up on the grid, and I figured if everybody started on dries, they would have to have an extra stop. So I started on wets, and it was miserable at the start. So I just had to let everybody by and try not to cook mine on the first couple laps.
You were the only one, by the way. One car on wets, everybody else on dry.
Yeah, that was bad. I had no grip anywhere.
So when you came in to make your one pit stop, I know you were trying to one stop it. Did you have to change out the tires because you had burned them off on the dry track?
Yeah, so since everybody swapped from dries to wets, I took all 4. Figured I wouldn't lose any time to the field on that. So yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely give you the bravery award for being the only guy to start on wets. And 4 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, I think this guy screwed up. There ain't no rain in this forecast. I appreciate the bravery, my friend. And then 2 minutes later, I'm like, hey guys, it's raining. Yeah, you come in and get wet tires.
Yeah, I was definitely doing a rain dance while I was driving.
All right, let's see. I was at least right about that. I was like, he's got the little tiki guy in there. He's shaking that thing going down the back straightaway. Anything he can do to get it raining.
Yeah, big time.
Well, man, congratulations on third place for the final race of the season. And I think we'll have to get the points looked at, but you might finish in the top 3 in the overall points.
Did it? How did Webers do?
Well, Vevers dropped back to 8th. He had a couple incidences and spinouts and things like that. So depending on the point gap, I think you had like 22 points or something like that. You were behind him, but you did finish 4 places in front of him. So depending on how the points work out, you could jump up there. So we'll stay tuned to see how it works out.
Maybe those guys had pace all season. They had. I think the only reason it was close is because he did not start a race. So he dropped a race that was better than or equal to my
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
Either
Hey,
way, I'll take. I mean,
taking any race you get.
this way, I'll take it.
Right. All right, man. We got any shout outs or any send offs you want to give in the last race?
Well, I want to thank John. I know I pick on him a lot for messing up stuff, but thanks for setting this up. Thank you guys for broadcasting all this. It's always fun to do a rewatch, and thanks everybody on track. I mean, I've never raced with a lot of these guys, and it was very clean, very good racing. I can't wait to be back.
Well, definitely. I know John's got something in the works and behind the scenes, so we'll definitely be glad to have you back. But congratulations, and we're going to jump over to Ricky.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, Mr. Rennie? Pretty good run. You came out of left field on this one.
Yeah, it was one of those situations at the start, looking at the radar, kind of like retro there. I was like, it's going to start raining earlier than we would like to be able to one-stop it. And just as the rain started falling, I was fuel saving at the beginning because I thought we were going to have to cut the stop pretty short there. And once it started falling, I was like, I could still drive in this. And honestly, when everybody pit early, I thought, Retro had the prime strategy there. So my plan was just stay on track, on the dries, slow it down until he got to me. And then once he got to me, then I would pit. But at that point, I was like, okay, I can one stop this and we'll be fine. But Alberto was so far gone. He pit. And I was like, all right, here we go. And then he came out and he was still 20 seconds ahead. I was like, oh, man.
So how long did you stay on the slick tires in the wet? Because you drove on the at least 10 laps. It must have been.
Yeah, I think it was about 8 laps or
I mean,
so.
how were you holding on to the car?
I got a little lucky. About time Parker and everybody pit, the rain kind of stopped for like 3 laps.
Yep.
So it just kind of stayed as is. But the main thing is just like, I know that I'm losing time. I know I'm losing 3-4 seconds a lap. But 4 seconds a lap, 10 laps before you make up a pit stop there. So as long as I could balance it out and not have to do that pit stop, I was going to stay out there as long as I could.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at was, everybody came in about the 6, 10, 12 mark, somewhere in there. So it was kind of iffy if they were going to be able to make it all the way on fuel. And I kind of figured you were like, if I get to that 20 minutes, I can make it the rest of the way. But I got to get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, come to pits and get tires. You're like, no.
Yeah, the hard part was I gave up so much time during that after I pit, I came out in a lot of traffic. And it was really difficult to pass out there. Me and Chris had one where he left me space on the inside, but just like the ponding on the inside, and I was trying to turn the car. I had the wheel turn, but it just wasn't turning, and it was a really slow bump. But I was like, man, he left me space, and I still was trying to get it to turn. It just didn't want to.
I mean, absolutely. By the end of the race, there's puddles on the track, curbs, grass areas. I mean, you need a pontoon boat for about half of the track.
Yeah, getting onto the first banking, like the first time on the lap coming out of turn 4 there, is scary. You're just drifting straight at the wall, and then finally it catches, and you're like, oh, thank God.
It looks like you guys were driving through Lake Indy to get to the banking. Because there's so much water down there. That was probably the biggest area of just puddles. But I was super impressed that you stayed on slick tires as long as you did. I couldn't believe that you didn't slip up or really make a mistake. But I'm pretty sure your knuckles hurt right now from grabbing that wheel so hard.
Yeah.
But good run overall, man. You got any shout outs or anything you want to send out?
First off to the whole Next Gen Motorsports team. My guy Nathan Nickerson out there almost pulled it off. It was another close race right there at the end. The rest of the guys for helping out, practice during the week, and always watching the races. You guys for putting the races on. It's been a really fun season. And Retro for putting the Porsche right in front of me all the time and giving me something to chase. Because I think we've been like within 2 seconds of each other for the last 4 rounds every lap. So that's
Yes,
been really fun.
y'all love to chase each other around. I'm not sure if you guys are racing or just playing tag, but either way, it's entertaining for us.
It's hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, just want to say thanks for putting on a cool series, and it was a blast.
We appreciate it, man. I always, John's back there working in the behind the scenes, so I'm sure he's got something coming up. We might find out later if I can dig it out of him, but we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see you, buddy. And we're going to move over to Mr. Alberto Alvarez, which I don't think we've got to talk to you much this season.
Hey, Frog. What's up?
So, we talk about your first season here. All we did was talk about you, and you ran away, and nobody could catch you. Well, now we're in the next season. We got double the amount of cars, and we haven't talked about you much this year, man. How's your season been going?
Not great. Yeah,
Oh, you
been
made up
unfortunate.
for it today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, happy with today, but yeah, not a great season. Didn't find myself at home with the car, and a bit unfortunate on a few occasions. Too many mistakes, and I mean, Alexander, Parker, and Austin were always on the pace, so it wasn't easy.
They might be trying to tell you to switch to a different car, or it might just be me, but you might want to give that Mustang a shot, man.
Maybe if they change cars and are not on the Mustang, I'll probably give it a go.
Yeah. At least give it a whirl, and some practice, and see which cars you like best, I guess. I'm always just a huge proponent of the car. I love it. Looks like a tank going down the straightaway. But so how much do you love the rain? Because you apparently love to play in the rain.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Yeah, it makes it more interesting. It's not just about like hitting the line millimeter perfect. It's more like trying to move around and find grip.
I'd
It's
say
different lap to lap, so
makes you drive a little more.
yeah, it makes you think more and try some different stuff. More fun, at least for
Yeah,
me.
there was at least a couple cars, yourself included, where we watch you go around the corner and we're just watching that front wheel working. It's going left to right, all the way through the corner. It's not just turned to one way.
Oh no, yeah, always trying to find the grip.
Well, man, good final run. At least we got to talk to you. At least you got to kind of close out the season on a great note. So, you got any shout outs or anything you want to send out?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I wanted to win too, like for the final race at least. Could get an interview with you guys. So happy to do it. I want to shout out to Alexander, which I'm so sorry I had the contact with him this race. Probably don't deserve the race, the win because of it. But
Yeah, I mean, he might have had a slip up on the curb. Once those curbs were wet, that's just treacherous area. So I'm sure he will forgive you. He has not had a great season either. So you guys might want to team up and try to have good luck next season.
yeah, definitely. but yeah, shout out to John for organizing this entire season, and like he did a great job, and Terrell and Patrick for the help in the league that they given to you guys for the broadcast. Always great to watch it back. I got to watch it live last week, so that was pretty fun.
Awesome. We try to do a good job. We keep up. John sets the bar pretty high for us, so we're working over here. We're sweating.
Oh yeah. and then I mean, shout outs to Parker for the pro win, the championship win, and to Gabriel, which is the unofficial champion for the M class. So congrats to those guys. Great season.
Awesome, man. Well, we will see you next season, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna jump over to our AM champion, Mr. Gabriel Grozer. You there?
I'm here. I'm glad
All
it's
right.
over.
I know. So I know you had a good race because you kind of just, and as far as your division or class goes, you kind of just drove away. But we saw on the last lap, or the last 2 laps, where you were just giving up chunks of time. You were pulling over and waving people by, driving through puddles to let them go. How nerve-wracking was that last 15 minutes?
I would say not even the last 15 minutes. From lap 1 to the last lap was an emotional roller coaster.
You had like 3 laps of a dry track. I mean,
Yeah, so lap 9 I pitted, but I knew in practice if I could pit at lap 9 I could probably make it to the end. But then I noticed Nathan dropped back like 20 seconds. Like I had a 25-second lead on him. And then I started thinking as I'm driving in the rain, and I realized he was fuel saving. So then I had to follow suit.
you got to do something different than the guy you're trying to beat sometimes just to beat him. So he was probably having the same strategy, trying to do something different than you were doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
But how much do you love the rain? Because you seem to like it.
I'm good at rain and other tracks, but Indy is just tough because there's no banking, there's no camber on the turns or on the hairpin corners. So it was really miserable, to be honest.
Yeah, and also big chunks of curbs that if you hit, you're going somewhere.
Exactly.
I think that's what most people don't really like about the track is just the curbs, especially that little back chute. But overall, I mean, I think you ran wide on one corner, so you were consistent. But we were making jokes all through the broadcast. Every time somebody got behind you, you were like, "Go away, just go away."
No, I knew I finished the race with 0.8 liters left, so if one more lap I would have been.
Oh wow! So you were not only massive fuel saving, but go away and leave me alone. All I have to do is drive around for 3 more laps and I win, and no one's behind me.
Exactly.
Now you probably didn't know you had like a 15-second gap, but I'm sure that he was pushing very hard to catch you. But you were like, "No, I'm good. I'm just gonna give up the time." And we talk about how nerve-wracking that can be to slow down and kind of throws you off your rhythm.
Yeah.
So that could hinder you, but you did it, man. You won the AM championship and the final race, so kind of a 2-for-1 in that. So any shout outs or anything you want to send out?
Yeah, I got a few. So I got to give a big shout out to Craig Setup Shop. He actually made me a custom setup less than 24 hours ago because I was very desperate. I haven't had a setup all season. So he flipped it to me within like 3 hours of me like saying, "Hey, this is what I need. This is a championship race." He got it out to me, and shout out to Craig. My coworkers at work for tuning into the stream. I want to shout out Bob, my mom, Jeff. I want to say sorry to some guys at WBM. Had a little bit of a spat with them during the season, but I hope we're all good now. I messaged a few guys, so I hope we're okay. And Nathan Nickerson, like we've been neck and neck in practice, qualifying like by thousandths of a second. So it was a big boxing match. And then shout out to John for hosting, and just it's a great league, and I had a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. As I've said before, he's got stuff brewing, so we will be very happy to see all you guys come back, battle it out. The competition level from race 1 to race 7 has just intensified immensely, and we see you guys get closer and closer and closer together, and we start to see you guys get used to each other and race, and just really makes for great racing for us, to watch. But it's got to be fun for you guys as well with that competition level being so equal.
Yeah, it's been fun and sweaty.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to send off and go talk to the man of the hour himself, Mr. John Cannon. And how do you think this season went, my friend?
Way better than I had expected. Honestly, I kind of figured we were going to have anywhere between 10 to maybe 18 people on track, and that was it. But a couple of the races we had almost 30, and then towards the end here, I kind of understand why people kind of left because, well, a lot of people don't like racing in the rain, which is totally fine. But to still finish the season out with 18 on track, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think that, as we've talked about over and over, is how everyone has come together. First race, second race, you get a little bloopers, and people don't know each other, and they even though they yell at each other, they can kind of talk it out in a weird way because you get to learn how that guy is and how he drives. By race 3 and 4, I mean, these guys were nose to tail. Cleaner starts. They know each other's tendencies, how they drive, and we see a lot closer and better racing. So, from last season, where would you have 10 cars or so? Now we're up to
Something like
20.
Yeah.
Season 3, guess what? Yeah, 30 cars. I guarantee it. It's what's going to happen because everybody's going to come race here because they see this level of competition that keeps rising and rising and rising. So you might also have a few AM guys that might be pros by the time they come around because we've seen also those guys jump up and run with the pros. So, overall, man, fantastic season.
Well, I was gonna say they're probably gonna hate me because at least the top 3 in AM are going to pro. So
Yeah.
at
Well,
least like
Retro says if you build it, they will come.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I
But
think you've laid down a great foundation.
oh yeah, for sure. Like I was saying, if the more people that show up, and then of course as the AMs get better and stuff like that, of course they're gonna go to pro, and then we're gonna have a bigger pro um, competition, and it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. And on top of that, we're gonna keep having a healthy AM division too, just because not everyone is to that pro status, even though they may or may not be within the requirements of the I rating and so on and so forth. But if they're continuously proving that they should be up there running with the pros and stuff like that, and they're finishing first and second place every single race, then AM is probably not the best for them. So we'll just put them up to the pro and let them run with that. So who knows? Maybe the next season, maybe Gabriel he'll win the champion outright. Highly unlikely, but you never know. And I'm actually kind of praying that he does, just because to blow everyone out of the water. Go from AM to pro the next in one season, and then win the next race or next season rather.
Hey, we saw some pretty crazy stuff this season. You saw a couple drivers that maybe were running in a sixth, seventh, and eighth. All of a sudden, start running in the top 5. And they just like the car and track combo. So there's a lot of options out there, and like I said, I'm excited to see what you got in store, what's going to be coming up soon. I think everybody else is kind of waiting on it as well. But like I said, you've laid down such a great foundation and a clean, safe driving, respectful league. It's going to open the doors for other people to come join. So congrats on the season.
I appreciate it, guys, and I especially appreciate you guys for hosting, or not hosting, but broadcasting every race that we've done. And hopefully on February 15th, I'm hoping we get enough people so that way you guys can broadcast our 3 hours of Bathurst, because that's going to be a lot of fun, assuming we have enough people show up. Right now, I think we have 12 people signed up, or 12 teams rather signed up, so that's pretty good. It's a one driver or 2 drivers, depending on what you want to do, but it's the week right before the official 12 hours of Bathurst. So if you want to get some practice in, check out SimGrid. Check us out at ENVY Simsports on SimGrid, and sign up there. Create a team, and come race with us. So that way you can at least get some practice in before the 12 hours. We're going to try and have hopefully the BOP is out at before around that time. If not, we'll just run it the best we can. We might end up using the Daytona BOP or something of that nature, so that way we at least have something.
Yeah. Well, your level playing field will make it interesting. As I like to say, I tried to conquer the mountain, but the mountain always wins.
That's true. For whatever reason, it always likes to bite somewhere between Skyline and the Dipper, somewhere in that right there, that section of track. It always likes to bite there.
Oh yeah, that wall to the right before you make that fast left-hander, that's the one I usually like to paint. By the end of the race, whatever color my car was, they switch out.
Yeah,
And
it's now white.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
my car is usually multicolored by the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say just try and paint your car white, so that way at least most of your car is already white, so it doesn't really show any of the paint transfer from the wall.
Well, man, we are officially wrapped up with this season. You got a lot of trophies to send out.
That I do. So
John, what do you got for us next season? Can we get like a sneak little tidbit?
So well, it's not on SimGrid yet. It will be on Saturday though, but we're going to be doing the similar format as long as everyone is more or less on board with it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have 7 tracks, but they're all going to be European tracks. And P1 and both P1s and AM and Pro will be able to pick 2 of the races. I've already earmarked them for whichever race they pick. However, they have to be a European track because we're going to do a European section, or I'm sorry, a European championship. So that's about all I'm going to give out.
So there's going to be some cars and some tracks and people driving those cars. All right, so we got those details down, right?
Lots of people. There were, this season we had 20, so next season we're going to have 30, and we're going to have a lot more. And on top of that, I'm thinking about doing some other prizes on top of the cool trophies we're already saying now this go around. But I'm looking at doing maybe some other prizes and stuff like that. So that could be interesting.
So stay tuned for not only a trophy, but a little more prizes going out. And I like the trophies. I know you got to send out 6 of them, so I know you're hoping they're all live relatively close to each other. But I heavily doubt that's going to happen.
Oh God, no, they do not. From what I gather, they are all over the place, and it's just going to be it.
It might be cheap. It might be cheaper for you to rent a plane and a pilot and just throw the box out the plane with a little parachute on it, or maybe drone it to their house from there, than sending it, UPS.
I was thinking about talking to maybe one of these little prop, like a crop duster or something like that, and have him fly me all over everywhere.
Well, John, we are going to wrap this up, and we can't wait to see what next season is going to be. I know you'll release some details out there for everyone eventually. Got to, leave the cliffhanger out there for them. So check out SimGrid.com, ENVY Sports on Discord. Keep updated. Don't call John too much. He'll tell you what it is eventually. So that was the ENVY Simsports GT3 Sprint Series of America. So we know next time we'll have cars, we'll have tracks, and it will be over in some European areas. So we at least know that. So there is a new season. It's coming soon. And
there is one thing that I want to say. Rain is inevitable in this entire season. So yeah, if you hate driving in the rain, you're going to be very good at it by the end of the season.
So it could rain, it could not rain, it could rain for half a race. There's just no telling, right?
True. It's going to be it's going to be as questionable as what this race was, except it's not going to be where we completely flood the track. We're going to be a little bit more conservative with the rain. Anyway, that's all I'm going to tell you guys.
I think you caught everybody off guard with the little sunshine that came out, and then all of a sudden it just poured down again. So every track is different, every layout's different, so it'll come into play. Well, all right. So, Chris, I don't think he ever made it out of the Pacific Ocean in a dinghy with just a rowboat, but I'm pretty sure Eton left him with some snacks, so he'll be fine out there. I am Fry, your host. Picks, always thank you for helping us out, making us look good, and putting all these great camera work and graphics and everything up for us. Again, Eton, just love you, man. Always helping us out and keeping us in line and allowing us to just come out here and put these presentations on for you guys to come out and race. So make sure like, share, subscribe, check all these leagues out. If you want to come race with us, GTChampions.com, you can. So help us out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Fry. Thank you, John. Shout out to Chris, wherever he is. Thank you, Ethan, and see you next ENVY season.
See y'all.
Bye.
Are you looking for professional broadcasting on a budget? How about broadcast with colorful commentary, guest commentators, and after-race interviews? Do your league branding and social media graphics need a facelift? custom results and series graphics looking like a 5th grader did them? Event organization taking up way too much of your time? Engage GTC TV and let us help you show the world your events.